Let's hear those horns!
If we get taken down, go to Rockfin. ROKFIN. ROKFIN.com. Go to Rockfin. We're not going to get taken down on Rockfin. ROKFIN.com.
Halfway in the middle of the block. Coming right now.
The answer, my friend, is CalCare. The answer is CalCare. Woo! When are we gonna get CalCare? We want to get it now. We've been fighting for single payer since 1990. The time for CalCare is now, people.
The time for healthcare is now! Now! Let's hold on, please. Can you move up a little bit? Come up, please. Here, don't go
All right, look at this group. Yes.
Come around here, come around here, come around here.
Wait, this is bigger than the group that started back there, right? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Steve Cox, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Combo couch.
Oh, yeah, right on.
How you doing?
Everybody's got masks on. It's hard to read.
Feet on, feet on.
Medicare for all.
All right, we're going to get things started. I'm going to bring up Mr. Steve Cox, candidate for Congress, CD 39, who believes that healthcare should be a right and that nobody should ever lose their house because they get cancer, or be forced to choose between paying for their kids' college or living long enough to see them graduate.
We are on Hollywood and Vine.
He's here to tell his personal story and why he supports Medicare for All system. Steve Cox, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey everybody. My name is Steve Cox. I'm running for Congress in the 39th Congressional District. It's about 20 miles from here. Just let me finish what I'm doing, please. I got a question for you. Who's ready to get radical today? That's right, it's good. So what brought us here? Medicare for all, among other things. What do we want? What do we need? What do we deserve? That's right. So according to a Yale study we read, came out last year, about 68,000 Americans on average die every single year for lack of affordable health care. That's 186 Americans every single day who die preventable deaths, many of whom have health care. That's roughly equivalent to the 5 worst mass shootings our country has ever faced, and it happens every single day, and the media almost never mentions it. Medicare for all is the answer. But every time we bring that up to the press, what do we hear? How are you going to pay for that? Right? How are you going to pay for that? But, that's right. But, that same Yale study I just mentioned a minute ago found that on average we should save at least $450 billion a year on our health care with Medicare for All. You divide that into every single American of any age, it comes to over $1,350 per person per year, which means an average family of 4 could save over $5,400 a year on their health care with Medicare for All. That's how you know that the how are you going to pay for that thing is a total diversion.
Right.
Because the system that they're questioning costs less than the one we're already paying for. Plus, I think we could save way more, to be honest.
Right.
Medicare for All is not the finish line. It's the starting line. It's a starting line in the race to transform our medical system from a system that focuses on patient income to a system that focuses on patient outcomes.
Right, healthcare, health profits.
So can we afford it?
Yes!
Yes, we can. Can we afford it?
Yes, we can!
Can we afford it?
Yes, we can!
You're damn right. Now to put the icing on the cake, not only is Medicare for All moral and ethical because it doesn't kill Americans, not only is it cheaper, but it's also incredibly popular. 69% of the American public, according to a Harris X poll that came out last year, of registered voters, 69% of the American public supports Medicare for All. That's 68% of independents like myself. It's almost half, believe it or not, of Republicans, 46%. And it's 88% of Democrats. Now think about this for a minute. 88% of Democrats support Medicare for All, and knowing that, the Democratic National Committee voted 79% against even putting it on the party platform. they have the nerve to call themselves Democratic. By that point, 69% of the country supports Medicare for All, and we can't even get a vote on it in Congress. How do they call this a democracy? If this were a democracy, Medicare for All, which again, to reiterate, is cheaper, moral, and and has 2-to-1 voter support, right? If this were a democracy, that would already be law, wouldn't it? Congress knows these numbers, and they do nothing but talk. Congress is because everybody in Congress prioritizes themselves first, and their parties and their donors second and third. We, the people, are fourth place at best among our own representatives. So how do we become Congress's top priority? I got 2 more minutes here. To become Congress's top priority, we need to be willing to make ourselves a problem for them. We need to start voting them out. All of them.
Stop giving them money!
You know, no, I'm almost done. Let me finish.
I'm sorry, but you're finished now.
Force the vote!
You know, I'm sure some of you guys are thinking that, you know, you're probably not talking about my favorite congressperson, and they're one of the good guys, right? But are they? Because how many of them are out here with us?
None of them!
How many of them were willing to force a vote on Medicare for All?
None of them!
Stephen, thanks so much. Give a hand for Mr. Stephen Cox. You guys can squeeze over this way a little bit. Come on, squeeze. Go ahead, squeeze over. There's so many of you. All right, we got Kenneth Mejia coming up.
Yeah, Kenneth!
A little thing on our next speaker is a certified public accountant who was born and raised right here in LA. He's running for controller of City of Los Angeles and is the only candidate to highlight the waste and how the city allocates and spends money. All a true servant of the citizens and needed weapon in our fight for Medicare for All.
That's right.
Kenneth Mejia!
Kenneth Mejia is the best!
Woo! Healthcare is a human right!
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 Hi everybody, my name is Kenneth Mejia. I'm a certified public accountant with 11 years of auditing accounting experience running for city controller right here in LA. And the city controller is the city's chief auditor and accountant. And you're like, well, what does that have to do with anything? Well,
Everything.
we calculate the money, we can calculate to make sure that we're saving our tax dollars here right in our city of LA. And what we've been doing is educating the people about the city's budget right now. About 30% of the city's budget goes to the police, 2% goes to housing, and 7% goes to homelessness. And I say this all because people don't know these things. Now, when it comes to healthcare in the city of LA, the city spends $836 million on city employees' health insurance, dental benefits, and also vision. A majority of that goes to Anthem and Kaiser. Now, we're all here to support AB 1400, am I right?
Yeah.
CalCare can save 7% to 19% over 10 years. So what does that mean in terms of the city of LA? If we paid $836 million last year, over 10 years we could potentially save $60 million. We could even potentially save $160 million. And now if you look around, if you live in LA and you look around you, housing's deteriorating. The city's criminalizing the unhoused community. We can use that extra money to house our unhoused neighbors, to give them services. And that's why it's important here that we take out the profit motive for healthcare. It doesn't make sense that the city pays Anthem, where their CEO makes over $17 million a year. It doesn't make sense for Kaiser, a nonprofit, where the CEO of the foundation makes over $11 million a year.
Fuck that shit.
And that's why we're really here to make these numbers transparent, to make them accessible, so that when you go and lobby your assembly members for AB 1400, you can give them the facts, because the numbers don't lie, am I right?
Right.
And so, once again, my name is Kenneth Mejia. I'm running for LA City Controller. Healthcare is a human right!
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 Thank you.
Guys, vote for Kenneth.
All right. That's my account. Thanks so much. All right. Our next speaker has been building social movements and speaking truth to power for nearly 2 decades. Since graduating from Stanford Law in 2003, he has worked in both San Francisco and Washington as a legal advocate, nonprofit leader, grassroots organizer, and a poet and musician. I didn't know that. Oh, nice. He's a devoted advocate of universal health care, democratic socialism, international human rights. In 2020, he managed a valiant campaign for Congress against the most well-moneyed funding machine, his opponent Nancy Pelosi. Oh, Sicilian. Please welcome a warrior for Medicare For All, Shahid Buttar!
What up, LA? It is so good to be with you. I just want to invite everyone on the street over here to occupy the intersection if you're so inclined. Like, you know, as long as we're here, let's assert our presence. People down to do a little chant with me? I'll model it, call, response. Okay. You need to see a doctor. It should be free. Health care is a right, not a commodity. Got it? So your lines are, it should be free, not a commodity. All right. You need to see a doctor. Health care is a right. You need to see a nurse. Health care is a right. You need to get a surgery. Health care is a right. If you need to get insulin, health care is a right. If you need some other medicine, health care is a right. Health care is a right. Health care is a right, not a commodity, and we should treat it that way. It's striking to me, could you come up with your sign? I saw this sign in the crowd and it spoke to a theme I wanted to raise. There are a lot of people in our country who like to talk a big game about how the United States leads the free world. Are we even in it? And we're not even going to talk for the moment about how we imprison more of our citizens than any other place and how we have a military-industrial complex that extracts resources from around the world. Just that alone might lead us to think about the question, is fascism a far-off future fear? Or might it have been here, particularly for our darker-skinned neighbors, for the last 400 years? The recognition of intersections between our different discrete policy silos is the difference between a movement embracing a path to liberation and a people being co-opted by corporate political parties spinning talking points. Thank you. Political parties spinning talking points to co-opt them in their communities. I would particularly invite you to consider whether your voices in Washington are with us, either out here literally today or metaphorically in Washington in the policy debate. And if they are not, you might think about taking this battle to liberate our country, to democratize a country that might falsely think itself to be free. Take that battle home, to wherever home is for you. At the end of the day, what we are waging here is not just a battle for basic human rights within our country. It is a battle for a bipartisan consensus to be reflected in Washington. It is a battle to make our government answerable to be for, of, and by we, the people of the United States, and not the health insurance and pharmaceutical corporations that are pushing us all into early graves. Has anyone here had to delay medical treatment of some kind, or someone in your family, because you couldn't pay for it? It is unconscionable that this happens at all, let alone that it happens at scale. The last thing I'll leave you with, just among intersections between these arenas, the leading cause of people ending up sleeping outside without shelter is medical bankruptcy, which is a phenomenon only in the one red country on this map. Thank you for being out here today. We will not stop advocating until we have universal health care free at the point of service.
All right. Thank you, Shahid. Awesome. Tara Reid is a writer, actress, poet. She speaks on the intersectional issue. Okay, all right. how physical and sexual abuse survivors would benefit, heal, and thrive under Medicare for All healthcare system. Tyra!
Hello, Hollywood! Healthcare is a human right! Healthcare is a human right! Say it with me. Healthcare is a human right! Healthcare is a human right! We need to make some noise. I was a young staffer in 1993, and I worked for Joe Biden. And I can tell you, he is not interested in consent. He is not interested in your health care. He is funded by Big Pharma and by the healthcare lobby. And when I came forward in 1993, I lost my health care. I was a federal employee. As a sexual assault survivor, losing health care when you come forward in a job or about sexual harassment, either one, losing that is pivotal in losing benefits. It's really super hard. And I have met, as a domestic violence advocate, many women and men who had barriers accessing medical because they were staying in a relationship that was abusive just to hold on to medical care. Health care is a human right. It's not just a chance. It's not just us asking for something for free. We're asking the government to pay for it, but we're not asking them to run it. This can be done. Whole Washington is doing it. California can do it. When you elect a predator to the highest office of the land who's funded by other predators, you're not going to get anything with health care. So we need to vote in people that hear our voice, and we can get Medicare for All. Not an expansion, Medicare for All. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to get moving here in a second. We're going to march down to Sunset, and we're going to CNN, and we're going to tell that mainstream establishment media, what do we want? We're going to tell them we want Medicare for All. We want CalCare. We want AB 1400. When do we want it?
Hey, where's our lady? What? Oh, she's there. I think we should back up a little bit more. Who's running everything? Huh? Carlos is the only point of contact I have.
It's not, especially when you're 8.
There's like 10 different groups. I can't tell you. Me and her, like, huh? I don't know. I guess we're going over to CNN.
Sorry, thank you. You gotta go, you gotta go. Do you want to run?
Shahid, nice to see you.
Likewise.
How you doing?
Take it with you, ready? Yeah, of course.
Great seeing you again.
Thanks, man.
Oh, she's right there.
Appreciate that.
Coming behind the banner right here. Hey, Carl, let's get people to the side here. Slow down. We're going to stay behind the banner, and then we're going to spread out.
Oh, yeah? Okay, right.
But quick to set us out, 'cause they're feeding I took my photo with Bernie Sanders up at the theater up there.
There's a fake Bernie Sanders?
No, Rick Montalban on theater 2 years ago when you and Fiorella were in Florida.
Yeah.
I tried to get you to come back, but you couldn't. Where is Fiorella? I haven't seen her.
She's at the CNN building.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so we're munching that. I'm gonna interview some people.
We gonna fight for us? That's right. Healthcare for all. We are fighting for everyone. That's nothing to do with creed, color, or your sexual orientation. None of that. This is love and the truest force of the heart. We all need healthcare, and we all need it now.
right, so I have Tara Reid here.
Hi.
And we are here marching for the Medicare for All march in Los Angeles here. Sunny Los Angeles, hot. Hollywood. Tell me, how's your experience been here so far? Were you you've been well received and everything?
Yeah, it was fantastic. It felt so good to see so many supporters and also people just fighting for their health care. It's wonderful to see it. We need it. We need, they need to hear the shout that health care is a human right.
Absolutely. Back in your day, as when you were working in the Senate office, right? Were you also was that on your mind back then? I mean, I heard your speech, but
healthcare has been a fight that's been going on for a long time. I think you had legislators that were maybe interested in it, but as soon as the healthcare lobby gets to them and big pharma, forget it.
Right. And big pharma really is the one that's like the lobbyist, like the ones throwing the most money at it, right? I mean,
not everybody has a Cobra, and Cobras are expensive. We don't need Medicare expansion to lower the age. We need Medicare for all, every single person, so we don't leave anyone behind.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tara, and enjoy the rest of the day. So we are here, guys, and woo, this is hard, being the one-man team here, interviewing and filming, and we are still doing it. There's the CNN building. Everybody flick off the CNN building. This guy's sign says Justice Democrats Forgot. So we're continuing. If they can spend billions on war, we demand Medicare for all. Yes, absolutely. So we are arriving now at the CNN building. You can see this big black building right here. The BBB, big black building. And we are continuing to walk. There's a lot of people I know out here I haven't seen in a long time. And we have the Red Berets out here, Red Beret hats, Whole Washington. If you don't know about that, check them out. They are legit up there in Washington State, Seattle. Shout out to Whole Washington. And Shama Sawant, I'm sure she's going off on a speech right now. She's been fighting at it, fighting the establishment on a local level. And we need more of that. We need more of that. And here we are at the CNN building. Watch out. Watch out. This is where previously the Combo Couch, which hosted a fuck censorship event, marched down from this road down to the CNN building here. And that is what happened. And we talked about the censorship and the media, about how the fake narrative that they play, that they perpetuate every day to brainwash everybody, brainwash people. And we are here. Yes, sir. How you doing?
You guys are great.
What's your name?
I'm the Orange Duke.
The Orange Duke?
That's right.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Everybody, please.
I was gonna ask you, why are you here? You know?
Well, for Medicare for All.
For your safety,
Something that happened in your life?
please.
I got a lot of issues with that kind of stuff, you know.
Double yellow lines for your safety.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Healthcare, Medicare for all, baby, we here. Paving the way for a better LA today. Yes.
Fiorella Isabel is not against Medicare for All. She's been actively, we've all been actively fighting for Medicare for All since 2015, when Bernie awakened us all. We've all voted for Bernie Sanders here on the couch, 2016, and then in 2020, 2 out of 3 of us did. 1 voted for Tulsi Gabbard, and then we did not vote Republican or Democrat in the general. So we have been Medicare for All for a long time.
No one should go hungry. No one should go without health
We have made it to the CNN building.
That's right.
There are smear agents in the chat.
And we made an anthem for y'all. We're gonna play this song again. We want you to get it stuck in your
I'm gonna switch over to the other mic so I guess you can hear the song.
You gonna fight for us? Who's gonna fight for us? You gotta fight for us. You gotta fight for us.
Fist up.
You gotta fight for us. You gotta fight for us.
Drug costs rising, uninsured still dying. Can't take a day off, the people still fighting. Big pharma keeping politicians in their pockets. When you mention Medicare for all, you see them switch topics. They love pretending that they care for a vote, but quick to sell us out cause they feeding for the dough. A visit to the doctor shouldn't even go broke. The American dream is a dream with no hope. Unless you're gonna rise up, get your voice heard. Don't sit on the sideline, we gotta push first. And we gotta strike back against the evil. It's only a fair fight when you fighting for the people, yeah.
You gotta fight for us. 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 You gotta fight for us.
I can't get seen unless I pay out my pocket. Cost so high, makes will go and buy a rocket. The parents are right for every man, woman, child. The baby's teeth hurt, you wonder why they don't smile. You don't have insurance, then we can't treat you. Cancer's taking over, it's just time to delete you. Making trillions on prescription drugs. CEOs making millions, tell me who's the real thugs. Profits over love seems to be the motto. Just die if you get paid, that's a hard pill to swallow. Medicare for all, Medicare for all. We gotta fight for all, we gotta fight for all, yeah!
You gotta fight for us. You gotta fight for us.
Yeah!
You gotta fight for us.
We gotta fight for us! You gotta fight for us! You gotta fight for us!
You gotta fight for us. You gotta fight for us.
Who's gonna fight for us? All right, guys, let's keep it going. You guys should be proud of yourselves. You guys should be proud of yourselves. You guys are out here fighting not just for yourselves, you're fighting for everybody. And that's real love. That's real love. That's real love. If it ain't about love, it ain't about nothing. And you know that Big Pharma is making trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars at the cost of our own lives and our own peril. I mean, there's so many facts. Did you know that the same pharmaceutical industries are putting the additives in the foods that you eat? How is that? How is that? That's not even ethical. That's crazy. They're forming diseases now. Come on, y'all. We need real health care. We need it now. We need real health care. We need it now. Thank you guys so much. Let's get AB 1400 passed. Pave the way for a better LA today. Medicare, healthcare for all. We love you. God bless. Yay! Get it, Jimmy Jugger. We love you, Jimmy. Jimmy Dore. Jackson, what up? What up, Jackson? Come on, guys. We see you, Rod.
everybody. Thanks for coming out. It's a beautiful Saturday to fight for power. Fight for power. I would like for all of you guys to take a moment of silence. Just a brief second. We just calm down and hold 2 seconds, 5 seconds of silence. As we hold the moment of silence, may we reflect on the year before us and the tragic loss that it has brought. The medical emergency made one thing clear. We are of nature, and though at times we can feel and create superficial environments of superiority, we're all human. We are all breathing, eating, drinking bodies of life, attempting to make sense of this we call life.
All connected!
And while we may not agree on the misinformation and outright chaos, confusion artificially created to entertain, divide, and create contempt for each other, we can agree that there are too many among us still suffering and slowly dying in pain. We may take a second to feel compassion for those who alone and with great trouble slowly took their last breath attached to a ventilator, and for the many who passed away and were ushered to refrigeration trucks. May we accept a moment to those who were disposed of without proper burial rites. And while we know that death is inevitable, we continue to fight for life. Until our very last breath, we hold on to it as if it was the only thing we know. Death is an uncertain new beginning. I am sure we have all experienced loss of loved ones, one thing or another. A new beginning for everyone. A present without grandma, a present without uncle, a present without father. A continuation without someone who has been essential up until that last breath and beyond. For we carry them with us, and their lessons live on. While there is no denying the true and evolving outcome from COVID, we also know that heart disease, cancer, and accidents take the top 3 reasons for loss of life. Not to mention diabetes and other prevailing chronic diseases that require continuous medical attention. As we sit here and remember those who have passed this year, let us not forget about those who are still living. Those who are born with medical conditions. There is an array of conditions that develop throughout life. Some are born with autism, some with peanut allergies, and those who are just too ill and too afraid and simply cannot afford a doctor. And we allow symptoms to become uncontrolled expansion of a disease. Let us not forget about those who in a twist of fate become prisoners to a bed. As we go about our lives, we do not ever expect an accident. Let us not forget our own vulnerability and the catastrophic repercussions that a medical emergence can cause in our own lives. Look around you. Everything that is being exposed is a medical emergency. Beyond COVID, we need to provide medical attention to all of our fellow citizens. Medical coverage is a human right in the 5th largest economy in the world, which is California. It should be common sense. Stop killing people. Pass AB 1400 and get it done. We need it now.
Buenas tardes. Maria Estrada, Southeast LA. And I'm here with the Medicare para Todos from the Red House in Los Angeles here, who have been organizing at MacArthur Park marches for Medicare LA for years, trying to educate the Latino community about this cause. We're here today to also push for AB 1400, which is the subsequent bill that was shelved on Friday, June 23rd, 2017 by Speaker Anthony Rendon. Since that time, the Speaker and the legislature has done nothing to push for health care, and now we have Gavin Newsom, who ran on single-payer health care. The California Nurses Association backed this man on his word that he would push this organization, and he's lied and he's went back on his word. He's now being recalled. I am asking for every Latino Americano not to vote for this man. We should not be giving the Democratic Party our vote. We're not here to support the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party should exist to support us. Que se vayan a la chingada. I just want to thank everybody for coming here today. This is a great day. I appreciate everybody taking the time to come out on such a hot day to fight for this very important cause. Right. California should be leading on this single-payer health care. If we had passed it in 2017, we would have saved by now $111 billion. That's not to mention the tens of thousands of lives that have been lost in this state because we do not have health care. 30% of the people that have died of COVID is because they did not have health care in this country. That's criminal. That's unacceptable. And the powers that be have failed in their duty to give us health care in the middle of a global pandemic. If they're not going to do it now, they're never going to fucking do it, and we got to demand it. We can no longer have. We must demand that they represent us and they give it to us. We should be shutting this whole fucking city down. We should be shutting every major city, every state capital, every fucking port, shutting this whole country down. Nothing's going to change until we take to the streets. Everything that we're dealing with, whether it's environmental, economic, all of these issues have to start with this healthcare issue. It has to start there. Force the vote is right. We're getting played. We're getting played by the Democratic Party. It is not Donald Trump and the Republicans that run the state of California, or the county of Los Angeles, or South Central or Southeast LA. It is the Democratic Party that has been fucking us over time and time again. And I want to say I'm a delegate for the state party representing the 63rd District. I'm also an elected member of the Los Angeles County Democratic Party, which is the most corrupt organization I've ever been in.
Preach to me, Estrada.
Next up, we have a political analyst, a journalist who's been just came back from Peru, from the elections in Peru. She's organized protests in Washington, D.C. For the force to vote, which I totally agree with. She's one of the co-anchors for Combo Couch. Here is Fiorella Isabel.
It's really amazing to come full circle because in January, Jackson, myself, and a few others here today were at Force the Vote. And it took a lot of courage to come in the bitter cold of January and to be faced with so much hatred, not just by the right, but by the Democratic establishment and some faux aggressive leftists who refuse to call out their politicians, who refuse to hold them accountable. We have the squad who ran with working people's money, who ran and took every last cent that a lot of us had and didn't push for Medicare for All, who right now refuse to retweet any of the March events. Okay, we had one show up, Cori Bush, props to her for showing up in DC. But if you're gonna run, if you're gonna have a mask that says Medicare for All, if you're gonna have merch that says Medicare for All, and you're not gonna do a goddamn thing to actually push it, I have a problem with that because we have people dying every single day right now. One of the most memorable things I saw in that January was a young man wearing all his medical bills along his jacket. Those were all the bills that he had to pay because we don't have health care in this country. And if the government gave a damn about giving you health care, they would have done it at the very least during a pandemic. But they don't care. So the fight for health care doesn't end with Medicare for All. It is only the beginning. Because we cannot have these politicians in the government bring in big pharma to tell us everything we need to do. When did we start trusting every single politician and every single thing that came out of this big pharma? They need to get out. We the people need to write the legislation. We the people need to have our voice. And that's the reality because at the end of the day, when we were there on January 4th or 5th, fighting for Force to Vote, and there was also a Julian Assange protest, the reason we were all there was because we were censored. Because the mainstream media, like CNN right here, censors independent media. All of you here, independent media, are crucial because they don't talk about Medicare for All. They're propagandists for the state agencies. And that's why we're here today. That's why you see us here. And they were trying to censor us. We had more police surrounding us forced the vote and Julian Assange, then they had police on January 6th. Cut off. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Fine. Next we want to welcome YouTube personality with the progressive agenda as he speaks today on his support for Medicare For All. We have Jackson Hinkle.
What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? And when do we want it? 500,000 Americans file for medical bankruptcies each and every year in this country. We live in the richest country in the history of this planet, and we're telling people we can't afford health care. It's insane. It's disgusting. Meanwhile, Joe Biden has the audacity this week to go and bomb Somalia, go and bomb Afghanistan, go and bomb all of these countries all across the globe, but he can't provide health care for his own people. It's disgusting. 68,000 Americans every single year are dying here because we don't have health insurance guaranteed as a right. 68,000. Think about the city you live in. Think about the city you live in. I live in San Clemente, California, down in Orange County. My whole town is only 65,000 people. We have 40+ million Americans who go each and every day of their lives without access to health care, to basic health insurance. This is a travesty, okay? Every single one of us deserves to have health care guaranteed as a right rather than a privilege. And I want to say what's even more disgusting than Joe Biden going out and bombing all these countries right now, when he says that he can't give us even a public option. Remember that? He campaigned on giving us a public option healthcare plan. Do you guys remember that? And now he's going out and telling us, oh, maybe if you're lucky, you'll get a eligibility age for Medicare lowered. Maybe. What's even worse than that, and the last note I want to leave you on today, is that the progressives, so-called progressives in Congress, AOC, Mark Pocan, Ro Khanna, Cori Bush, Pramila Jayapal, Rashida Tlaib, the authors of the Medicare For All bill, have stayed silent. And the first COVID bill that was passed in Joe Biden's presidency, they voted for a 6-month subsidy of private healthcare COBRA premiums. They waited to introduce the Medicare For All bill. They didn't try to bring it to a House floor vote, and they voted for private healthcare subsidies. I will not tolerate that. I will continue to hold them accountable, and I encourage you all to do so as well. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks so much, Jackson. Our next speaker is an activist, a writer, a stand-up comedian, truth teller, and star of Get Your News On with Ron. Hailing from San Pedro, California, you know him from the Jimmy Dore Show. Please welcome one of the greatest fighters for Medicare For All, Ron Placone.
Hello. So, I do come from San Pedro, California, which is also the Little Italy of Los Angeles, our fair city. And I want to tell you a quick story. Many years ago, I was in Italy. I was studying abroad in college, and I broke the ginger code. I fell asleep on the beach. That is not something we do. I was reprimanded at the next meeting, but I got a pretty bad sunburn, which I know you're all thinking, whoa, Ron, that's what happened next? No kidding. But I got a bad sunburn, so I went to the pharmacy. Now, in case anyone doesn't know, over there, pharmacies are basically health centers. That's what they are, which makes so much more sense than what we do here, where it's like, oh, you get NyQuil or a candy bar. That tracks. Hey, get some of the worst food you can put in your body, or medicine. These two things go together. Hey, what does your shop specialize in? Vegan groceries and hunting supplies. That's what we do. Those two things. Anyway, so I go to the pharmacy and I tell the person I have a sunburn. A doctor comes out. A medical doctor. Gives me a total checkup. Takes my vitals, tests my reflexes, takes my temperature, tells me the degree of burn that I have, shows me a little chart, and gives me 2 medications. One for the burn itself to heal it, one just for the pain, and then gives me some medical advice, which in that case was, hey dude, don't fall asleep on the beach again. Try not to do that. But as an American, I was kind of scared at this point, because I know that sometimes just seeing a doctor can be well over $100 in the United States. So I'm wondering what is going to happen. I get to the cash register, which the person wasn't even sure how to use it, because it's not something she has to use often, and it cost me €7 for all those things. And the only reason it cost me that much was because I was not an Italian citizen. I shared that story on Facebook some years later, and other people started sharing their stories about being in places that actually have healthcare systems, universal systems, and something bad happened to them, and for basically no money they got fixed up. Hey, I was in Ireland, I fell and broke my arm, cost me less than $50, I'm fine. And then some people started sharing domestic stories. One of the particular ones, hey, I got in a car accident. I am $500,000 in debt and counting, and I'm still not fixed up. We do not have a healthcare system in the United States. We have an industry of exploitation, and it has gone on for far too long. So single payer now, Medicare for all now, peace, love, and a general strike. Thank you guys so much.
Our next speaker needs no introduction. My brother from another mother, Jimmy Dore.
Hey, where is CNN? Where the fuck is CNN? I don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. Well, we're all out here and we're letting you know we need Medicare for all. But CNN is sponsored by Big Pharma and Blue Cross, so they don't want you to have Medicare for all. So I say, fuck CNN. Fuck CNN. Fuck CNN. Fuck the establishment media. Fuck establishment media. When I started Force the Vote, everybody said that it was a great idea until all of a sudden it wasn't. I don't know what happened, but everybody lost their balls in the middle of a fight for Force the Vote for Medicare for all. They said now it's not the time. Now is the time. The time was 100 fucking years ago. We gotta make it happen now. People are dying now. Now is the time. Tell your media, tell CNN, tell the Washington Post, tell the Young Turks, now is the time for Medicare for all. You tell those progressives that we helped elect that now is the time for Medicare for all. Stand up against Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Joe Biden, and do what we elected you to do, and fight for us. Any politician who is not right now fighting for Medicare for all is complicit in murder of the American people. A third of all COVID deaths can be attributed to a lack of Medicare for all. I thought it was only Trump who didn't give a shit about Americans dying from COVID. Turns out Joe Biden and the Democrats don't give a shit about it either. Because if they did, they'd give us Medicare for all and 100,000 more people would be alive right now. But they don't give a shit about it, and they don't give a shit about you. So what we have to do is make CNN uncomfortable. We have to make the Squad uncomfortable. We have to make Bernie Sanders uncomfortable. Where is he? Where's Bernie? Say, hey Bernie, where's your movement? Where is your movement, Bernie? I'll tell you where it is. It's in the streets of America today, fighting for Medicare for all, while you're taking fucking orders from Joe Biden. Fuck Joe Biden and fuck Bernie when he runs from. Where are you, Bernie? Your movement's right here. Get out here. Where are you, AOC? The movement is in the street. Where are you? Are you taking another picture with Mama Bear for Vanity Fair? Are you guys out shopping for refrigerators? Right now, Joe Biden, instead of giving us health care, is bombing the poorest people on earth in Africa. That guy loves bombing so much you think it was a little girl's hair. all, Medicare now, no more waiting, put pressure on politicians, make them scared of you, make them scared to death of you. Fuck the politicians, let's go to their houses. Medicare for all, thank you, I'll see you later.
Well, all right, that's what I like to hear. Let's show up at people's houses late at night with flashlights and bullhorns and scare the fuck out of them. They should fear us. They're not representing us. And if we don't force them, it's never going to happen. It's now or never. We need to stop asking. We need to start demanding from this Democratic corrupt party. And Miguel Santiago, your staffer, chair of the LA CDP, is a corrupt piece of shit. And he's destroying LA County. The reason this county is so fucked up is because the Los Angeles County Democratic Party is beholden to corporate donors and is not allowing the people like myself elected to represent the 63rd District of Southeast South Central LA to vote and fight for the policies that are going to help my community. It's the reason why people in Southeast LA and South Central live 10 years less than the people in Beverly Hills, and that's fucking bullshit. And it was Gavin Newsom that increased the fracking permits. It was Gavin Newsom who promised that he'd give us healthcare for all, single-payer healthcare, and it's Gavin Newsom who lied. Recall Gavin Newsom, fuck him, and fuck every Democrat who doesn't give us what they promised.
Okay, listen, we're going to be moving this truck. We need people to back a little bit away from the truck. Victor, we need somebody to take the coffins. We need volunteers to take the coffins. I need you to step away from the truck. We're going to be taking the truck up to Wilcox. Remain here. Do not move until you are told. We want safety first. Safety first, everybody. Beware of the truck. Beware of the truck. Okay.
I got the mic on now. You guys should hear me, right? You guys hear me?
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to speak on that. This woman right there, the one in the hat and the blue, she cut my mic off. She didn't cut anybody else's mic off who spoke longer or as long as I did. And the reason is because I think she thought I was going to say something like controversial, maybe because I said the words Big Pharma or something. I don't know. There are people here with signs that say, get up, Big Pharma out, because the whole point of Medicare for All is to get these Big Pharma companies out from our fucking healthcare, from controlling it. These legislators, these fucking people who are actually trying to screw the working class, who are actually trying to interject authoritarian type of system where we don't have any say on what we do. I was just in Peru where people informed me that ivermectin helped them, that other methods helped them. We have been lied constantly by Dr. Anthony Fauci, who's been going back and forth on a lot of bullshit. We can't even talk about it, and I wasn't even talking about that. And so she has it out for myself and Pasta and cut us off and censored us. If the Medicare for All movement is going to have any success, it must be a movement that is inclusive across all ideologies, across the board, across all belief systems, because the whole point is to get health care as a human right. It's not to agree on every single ideological point you have. And it's people like Betty Dumas who are going to hurt this movement and who are going to stop it, who are going to screw it for everybody. You're putting people off, you're pushing people away, and the March for Medicare for All must disassociate themselves from somebody like that who is going to censor people. We're in the middle of a fucking like CNN who doesn't even talk about Medicare for All, and she has the audacity to censor me just because I might have said something remotely controversial, which I didn't even get a chance to say anything. And I think that's part of it. And I think I want a fucking megaphone and I want to fucking speak because I was censored. It's disgusting that she did that. She's exactly the problem with the progressive Bernie movement that refuses to actually have anybody who disagrees with them on talk about anything. And this is we're all here for healthcare for all. I support healthcare for all because I believe healthcare is a human right. What I don't support is people not being able to talk about things that they want to talk about. And that's the problem. And we're never going to get anywhere on the left if we continue to be our own worst enemy. That's it. And like, again, like it's not the whole organization. It's obviously this person. But I'm just saying like that, you know, the whole organization must disassociate themselves from her. So, yeah. So... Yeah, so.
Better what? Betty cut off Fee's mic. When? Right now? During the speech.
Yeah, so. Yeah, we.
This is the thing, though. We really late. Because of we late right now, it's going to affect the other side. I'm gonna check the other speaker. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
We're supposed to leave here at 1:44. You weren't given any notice, right? You weren't given any notice.
She said everybody has to hurry and hurry up, but I wasn't talking that long at all. So she put that as an excuse, but everybody else talked as long. 100%. Maria talked way longer. Yeah, so we can check those times and I can show you all exactly how it was cut off. This isn't about me, so we're going to go back into the march.
Healthcare is a human right.
All right, so
Healthcare is a human right.
yeah, Betty Dumas is the organizer who cut off Fiorella's mic. So just so everybody knows. Oh man, Keith Anthony Sikora. Woo!
Fiorella! You ain't fucking doing your job until you fucking get cut off by the fucking mic. Yeah! Fuck yeah, that means Fiorella was doing her fucking job, motherfucker. I love you, P50.
You saw that, right?
Ding dong. I did. Yeah, I know. It was bullshit. I mean, yeah, it was fucked up.
There you go. Keith. Everybody, Keith. Keith Sikora.
Yeah, here I am. The fucking hug dealer, fucking staying alive with universal health care. Everybody in and nobody the fuck out.
That's right. So again, we're here for healthcare. Yeah, he's got a point. If you're not getting cut off, you're not doing something right, right?
Yeah, it's an honor and a privilege to be cut off.
Just like Steve Cox.
They cut him off too? Oh, the real ones, motherfucker, the real ones. Healthcare is a human right. Medical tyranny is not. And I'm not gonna fucking do what you asked me to fucking do just because it's your fucking belief, motherfuckers. God, it's not controversial anymore to only call out politicians. We have to call out the national security state apparatus. We have to call out the military-industrial complex. We have to call out the people within our own movement who want us to only comply and only agree with what they say. Those people we have to call out. It's not enough to just call out politicians anymore. I'm fucking done with it. I'm done with these fucking progressives that only want authoritarianism. I'm an anti-imperialist, anti-authoritarian. I don't stand for any of that shit. I'm not gonna tolerate it. I'm gonna continue speaking out against it. We need more people like us to speak out against it. For too long, people have been silent because they're scared of all the backlash. I don't back away from that. We cover the elections. We fucking cover COVID. We fucking cover everything that's controversial because we see it before it happens. We told you about the squad a long time ago because we saw it. We saw it. I see it now. What's happening now is extremely dangerous. Medicare for all, but not tyranny for all.
Whew, the mic's hot. The mic's hot. Sorry. All that fire you were spitting. The mic is hot. Ooh, what is that? Gasoline or oil? Who are my car people? Oh no, that was like a fucking elote or not an elote, but you know, whatever. Okay. God, man, these last speeches were really, really good. Honestly, Maria went off, Jimmy went off, Fee went off, Ron did a great job, and fucking Jackson Hinkle did good, and fucking Maria went the fuck off. Hell yeah, I love Maria. I love Maria Estrada. Maria Estrada. That's who it is. We've covered her before on the show. She actually got assaulted by somebody in the Democratic Party at an event because she was speaking loudly on a megaphone, and someone assaulted her. And we covered this shit. And they also cheated her fucking election, ADEM elections. She was trying to win an ADEM election. The way the California Democratic Party runs elections here is completely bullshit. If you don't know that by now, it's like a three-legged stool thing. It's stupid. Basically, there are super delegates, just like in the national, right? There's super delegates, and then there's ADEM people, and then there's the what is it? The Central Committee or something. The Central Committee. So I can't remember. There's a little graphic, and then I edited this graphic to show the reality that it's all bullshit, basically. So you heard a lot of anti-democratic speech coming from this, from the second group of speakers we heard here. Jimmy went way the fuck off too, and I really want to really resonate with what Jimmy said, with saying that we have to make the politicians uncomfortable. This is something that we talked about on the show all the time. We got to make them uncomfortable. We got to show up at every single congressperson's house and make them unfucking comfortable. Protest for days on end, block entrances, block their cars, make their life a living hell until they pass this shit, because our life is a living hell without Medicare for all. All Congress people. All of them. Senate, House.
Support Medicare for All, and we're here to play for you guys. So here we go. I know, right?
She was just there for some time.
That's a good mother framing. That's good. Hey dude, can you do that one with maybe frame it up? I know, right? That's cool. Framing that. Just frame it up.
Screaming and shouting on you.
Jimmy Changa! Steve Cox! What is up, Simon Shooter?
Okay.
Did you?
In a video, yeah.
Oh, I didn't. You shot it.
You won't know yet.
Okay. On Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay. It didn't come up yet.
It'll come up.
Okay.
It's in there.
All right. Here then. Hey, Jimmy Changa!
hallelujah. Say Jesus saves. Sorry, that was for the guys over there. All right, what song do we got? We're about to release this song. It's called Freaking Out. It's for all of you. Here we go. So, you know, I've had some family members deal with a lot of Medicare issues, and unfortunately they're not with us anymore. And if they had the money, you know, and they had the capability and the accessibility to this stuff, they'd still be here. So thank you guys for everything you do.
Okay, paging our MC, maybe a girl. Paging maybe. How are you all doing? Yeah, did you have a great march? Are you ready for some great speakers? Yes, wait till you hear from our MC, she's amazing. I'm very excited. She's, I'm sure, making her way to the stage.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I've got to beware. I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Ladies and gentlemen, siblings for Medicare for All, please welcome Maybe a Girl!
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 1, 2. How we doing, folks? Who is out here for Medicare for All? I didn't say for some, I said for all. Folks, thanks so much for coming out to the march and the rally today. We are just one of about 50 cities across the nation who are marching today, demanding health care for everybody. Folks, my name is Maybe a Girl. My pronouns are she, her, and they, them. I'm going to be your MC for the rally today. And I also happen to be running for Congress right here in this district, California District 28. I'm running for the U.S. House of Representatives because I am fed up with the status quo. I am sick and tired of voting in politicians who sit there and collect a check and talk, and say we should do this. We should do that. Well, frickin' do it. That's why we elected you. I also happen to be the first drag queen ever elected to public office in the United States of America. I'm currently serving on the Silver Lake Neighborhood Council right here in Los Angeles. I was just re-elected to my second term. Not only am I a drag queen, I am a trans person. And did you know there has never been a trans person in Congress, not in the U.S. House of Representatives, not in the Senate, and let me tell you, representation matters. Speaking of representation, why is it that only 27% of our Congress people are co-sponsors for the Medicare for All bill when the majority of Americans want Medicare for All? That is not representation. Folks, we all have a healthcare nightmare story. Healthcare in this nation is a scam. Insurance is a scam. Just last week, a friend was coming to visit me. She was riding her bike to my house. She flipped over her handlebars in the middle of the street. Normally, you would think that one might call an ambulance, but you know what? She couldn't afford that. So she walked to my house, dazed and confused, and we called an Uber to the emergency room. Once we got to the emergency room, we had to ask 5 people for a damn ice pack. These people were more concerned with getting my friend's health insurance information and trying to make sure that she was signed up as a member than actually asking about her condition or her injuries. We spent hours at the hospital, and you know what my friend's biggest concern was? Not her injuries, but how am I going to pay for this? My friend is like many of us. My friend, like myself, like probably many of you, does not have insurance. And let me tell you, when people are more concerned about the bill than they are the diagnosis. The system is broken. So I can't thank all of you enough for coming out to fight the good fight. We are never going to stop demanding health care for everybody. There is no reason why we can't have health care for everybody. If we can subsidize the fossil fuel industry, we can and we must subsidize health care. If we could spend almost $1 trillion every year on the so-called defense budget, we sure as hell can provide health care for our people. If we are not fighting for the health of our people, what are we fighting for? Please, never stop believing that we can do this together. We all have to be in this together. We all have to demand and scream and shout for Medicare for All! All right, folks, you ready for a couple of fabulous speakers? Let me pull out my clipboard. So I'm going to give a little introduction for our first speaker. Carlos Marroquin is a stalwart organizer in the LA community, serving the most vulnerable and disenfranchised. How much does that ambulance cost? Oh, that's a fire truck. Either way, it's probably expensive. During the pandemic, Carlos was a key organizer and board member of Urban Partners Food Bank. The food bank served the ever-growing need of the community as the economy crumbled in front of us. Carlos organized with the Occupy movement, founding Occupy Fights Foreclosures. Was lead organizer for the Bernie Sanders Brigade, a board member of Public Banks, and is currently co-host of the Boots on the Ground live stream show, Stand Up, Fight Back, streaming on Sunday mornings. Carlos stepped up and took a lead position organizing for the LA March for Medicare for All because he believes that healthcare is a human right and has seen the devastation of our profit-first system, how that has had on the community. Welcome, Carlos!
I tell you what, I know it's hot out there, but for those people that have no health care, every day matters. There are people today that have to make choices that some of us don't know about. They have to choose between buying food or buying medication. There are people today that they have their family members so sick, unable to be able to see a doctor. Why? Because we have a current system, a medical system, an insurance system that is for profit. Unless you have money, unless you have a job that provides certain benefits, if you don't have health care, you're pretty much to your own. It's up to you. And you know, that kind of system doesn't exist in other countries. This is the only country that doesn't provide for their own citizens. Yet we are able to have billionaires go out into space, but we don't have enough money to be able to insure families, veterans, seniors. Come on now. It is time for us to step up the game and say enough is enough. We need to change. We need to be able to have insurance, healthcare for every single person that lives in America. Take care. Fight on, people.
All right, everybody, give it up one more time for Carlos Marroquin! All right, folks, our next speaker is Dr. Paul Song, a physician, progressive activist, and the president of Physicians for a National Health Program in California. He is the co-chair of the Campaign for Health in California from 2017 to 2018. It was the very first visiting fellow on healthcare policy in the California. A long time champion of the Medicare For All healthcare system. One of the original board members. Please welcome Dr. Paul Song.
Do we know where Puss is? Do we know where he is? Oh, there's Shahid. Where's Shahid? They're taking off with the sound truck. Shahid!
Oh my God, good for you. I was live streaming you on Instagram. You were on it. So good. Oh, I'm trying, you know what I mean? I keep thinking I have like
pitch change or something.
Very weak.
Yeah, I met your brother today.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Where are you all off to?
Yeah, just up to getting fixed up and getting back home.
Okay. Give my best to Pasta.
Yes, I will. I'll let him
Let's talk again soon. Keep up the great work.
Take care.
Good to meet you.
Big
fan.
Oh, hi. What's your name?
I'm Steve.
Steve. Nice to meet you.
I've been following you guys for years. You guys really get into trenches.
Thank you.
Just concerned that people aren't protesting this summer like it was just so much momentum last year, and it's just
Yeah. People need a leader to look up to push them to do this. They also are still a little uncomfortable. I think they just realize they're at national stage right now.
How do you feel about that? About the general strike?
Yeah, so I think this is a precursor to a general strike. You have more people coming up and catching on. You have a 55-city march, and then you have people coming in with other issues, anti-war, even anti-war rally. Later after today, Cuba.
Yeah.
Hands off Cuba. So if there's more people that do other protests and then help each other out, that's how you start a general strike. The civil rights movement didn't start, just like overnight. It's so like the March on Washington was pre-organized for months before people actually all went out there. It's not an overnight thing. I think that we need it. I just think this is like how we get our part. But until it directly affects the population, yeah.
Big fan of the anarchist movement. The ability for people to really understand what's at stake. Woman strike. Like that.
Yeah.
That I don't think we're so ignorant in this country.
Yeah, they're so propagandized. Which is why we have to, I don't know